The invention of motion capture shifted the future of video entertainment, and the technology plays a pivotal role in the production of movies and video games. In 1919, Max Fleischer used pre-recorded images to create a lifelike and vivid animation that no one had ever seen before. He called him Koko the Clown.
Koko the Clown was merely the guinea pig who was meant to demonstrate an invention called the rotoscope, which enabled an artist to trace the filmed movements of an actual person frame by frame. The result was incredibly lifelike animation because it was, in fact, taken from life. And for this invention, Max Fleischer was awarded a United States patent, the first of many he would hold during his lifetime. It was Max's brother Dave who donned a clown outfit and posed for the earliest Koko films, while Max became something of an actor, portraying himself on screen as Koko's master and nemesis.
The roughest, toughest frail. Many had a heart as big as a whale. Hardy, hardy, ho.
Rotoscoping was big and is still used today. Animators could trace images frame by frame and use models to portray characters. This not only creates stunningly lifelike 2D images, but also provides for a less daunting animation process. It was even used in Walt Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Alice in Wonderland. Because motion capture has its roots in animation, the two elements complement each other well, or at least have the capability to do so. Although some may accuse it of causing the fall of traditionally drawn animation, I'd argue that motion capture not only enhances, but possesses the power to blend well with traditional drawn animation. The 1980s saw a lot of things, including the enhancement of motion capture technology. Biomechanical scholars sought out the best way to study the working human form. In fact, motion capture was originally used to track body movement for medical purposes. If you're thinking these people have way too many clothes on, or you just want to see more sports-related content, you can watch VidCon's Biomechanics Sports and Science Showreel from 2018.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Even in the year 3000, the question will be, what's for dinner? The answer will be in a package that saves energy, nutrients, and trouble. A package that can last the 3-year journey to Jupiter and back and back. Even in the year 3000, we see the brilliance of food in cans.
One of the first commercials to use motion capture was produced for the National Canned Food Information Council during 1984 by Robert Abel and his team. The Super Bowl ad proved only the beginning for computer graphics software and animation. One of the earliest computer animation studios, Pacific Data Images, joined forces with Jim Henson in 1988. Their goal was to design a character for the Jim Henson Show, a character that could perform digitally and live on set. This did not necessarily mean that the process was done live, but rather the character was easily manipulated on set. According to one of the team members, Henson already had been doing some work with wireless telemetric robotics to animate characters for shots in which there was no way of controlling them directly.
I'm doing with my hand and converting it into Waldo on the screen there, see?
Neat!
And the really great thing is that the computer does it all in real time. As Jim moves his hand around in the puppet, the image of Waldo flies around on the screen, too.
So it's like Mr. Henson is working a puppet, but what you get is a moving television picture.
Say, listen, Jojo. Have you ever seen a computer graphic sneeze?
No, sir.
Well, it's one of the wonderful sights of the world. Let me tell you. Watch this.
right.
Here we go.
Oh, my goodness, you seem to sneeze your skin off.
Yes, well, I'm sort of a wireframe now. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
There.
Very impressive.
Mhm.
But I do feel compelled, with all due respect, to point out that the picture of you still looks pretty terrible.
The image you see on the screen is called a low-resolution picture. It's not really that good, but it's about the best the computer can do in real time.
But you see, what we can do is we can take this crummy-looking low-resolution picture and we can run it through yet another computer into high resolution, and it comes out stunningly beautiful like this. Come on, Jojo.
Stunningly beautiful indeed. This technology was previously used in the Muppet movie, where Jim operated a Kermit head made of foam and covered in potentiometers. The potentiometer sent a radio signal to the robot Kermit head, bringing the character to life. The same machinery gave rise to the Waldo C. graphic puppet used in the show. Rex Grignon was in charge of recording the motions, and after the show, the data would be transmitted to the PDI. Within days, the Waldo C. graphic would make it to the television screen and be featured in 1-minute skits.
Wow, the world seems so small when you travel this way.
Now I want to talk about Party Hardy, but I can't find any video clips of it online, so I'm just going to let the Family Matters theme song play in the background. I know it has nothing to do with animation, but it's an amazing show. Anyway, in 1991, a motion capturing camera-based system previously used for medical purposes in Italy was the primary tool in producing Party Hardy. Michael Corey directed and performed each character in the Pennsylvania Lottery advertisement. An elite system tracked his facial expressions and also tracked foam rectangles the size of humans. And even though I couldn't find any video clips, there is this picture, so don't tell me that he wasn't having a good time. Then there's the 1992 music video for Steam, which was produced by Homer and Associates. The team used a BTS motion capture system to capture 150 varying movements from performer Peter Gabriel and a dancer. It is an over-the-top visual extravaganza, but it showcases the power of electromechanical human tracking systems. Although motion capture is widely accepted today, many detest it. The term Satan's rotoscope was used to describe motion capture systems, as it appeared to discourage artistic creativity. In a panel dedicated to motion capture and CG character animation, animator Ken Cope even stated, "I'm not buying Satan's rotoscope, but the suits are." And that's understandable. During the early stages of motion capture, the technology and software packages were expensive and seen as a hassle to use in relation to traditional animation. Because it is more closely related to cinematography than pure animation, early animators resented motion capture. Cope goes on to say, "Motion capture is a product too frequently used to promote freedom from animators, not for them." However, with the expansion of technology allowing for a greater availability of cheaper software, motion capture is more accessible to animators now than ever, and not just animators, everyday people too.
Number one, could you please sing the opening to I Want It That Way?
Really? Okay. You are my fire.
Number two, keep it going.
The one desire.
Number three.
Believe when I say.
Number four.
I want it that way.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a mistake.
Now number five. I never wanna hear you say.
Woo! I want it that way.
Somebody once told me the
Shrek is not only the greatest film ever made, but it is another animation film that used PDI equipment during production. Although it was animated frame by frame, it made use of performance animation, and performance animation served as a cost-effective way to achieve the specific look that they were looking for. The actor would appear in an appliance, which would aid them to correctly express the motions of the character. An optical system tracked body movement through markers placed in the appliance. Then there's The Adventures of Tintin, directed by Steven Spielberg, who describes it as 85% animation and 15% live action. The film, in my humble opinion, masterfully combines animation with motion capture technology. The characters are lifelike and the action scenes are impeccably realistic. This whole process from motion capture to film took 7 years of determination and meticulous attention to detail. Although motion capture and animation have had a short run together, I do believe the two can blend to make wonderful works of art, especially with how technology has improved today. There's not only room for the animator, but for the actor and the engineer too. Thank you.
Stand up like a soldier, baby. Yeah, I know you built like that. Gun it like a holster, baby. Show them say you're wicked like that. We live where the war is raging, chasing our crazy dreams, hoping that the bridge won't cave in. So now we'll let it all go free. Give me the thing, I made me rockin' at the dance. Give me the thing, I made me rockin' at the dance. My shit don't like stepping at the dance. Give me the thing, I made me rock, 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 rock. Give me the thing, I made me rockin' at the dance. Give me the thing, I made me rockin' at the dance. My shit don't like stepping at the dance. Give me the thing, I made me light it up.
Show them your flame to the fire. It's spraying like your name on a flyer. They wanna tame your desire, but you light it